investors.
The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Tom O'Brien Show is produced every business day. Tom takes your phone calls toll free at 1-877-927-6648. Internationally at 727-873-7618.
Let's go to John in Orlando. Hey, John, what's going on, brother?
Hey, Tom, good afternoon to you. How are you?
I'm doing great, man.
I want to thank you, first of all, before I ask you about the stock. You and Tim Ward and all the gang at TFNN. I had a really, really good year after the October call you guys made. My 401k is up 72%.
Congratulations, man.
A couple of things I made with Coinbase and other stocks that I made, and I've had a good year.
And we appreciate you growling and prowling with us, man. That's a beautiful thing.
Now, Tom O'Brien.
What's going on, everybody? Happy New Year. We're in 2025. Hope man, it feels like it was a weekend, but I know it's Thursday. Feels in the head like it is a Monday, though for sure. I hope you all had a fantastic New Year's Eve and relaxed well enough on New Year's Day. Let's take a look at what we got going on right now. The composite, we're off this year to the downside. Off about 0.45% right now, 19,223 in the composite. The Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.44% at 42,357. You have the dollar very strong at 109, hitting a top there at 109.53 earlier today. You have crude oil surging, essentially. Russian oil is no longer flowing through Ukraine to Europe. We'll talk a little bit about that. Of course, you're going to get a massive press up in the crude oil futures because of that. You have the gold contract up about 1.08% at 2,669. Let's take a look right now and see what the GDX is trading at. Up 3.52%. So, spoke with Tim Ward earlier today. He's again not going to be able to make it. You know, things with the holidays I know can get so stressful, but he is anticipating being back on Tuesday. And, you know, the longer it goes on when he's not delivering some of his analysis, just the more we get to go over, which is something I'm really looking forward to. Yeah, the GDX trading up 3.55% today at 35.11. You know, speaking in these miners as well, let's take a look. You have Kamiko Corp, right? So that's up 0.97%, and then you have your smaller guys here with U up 9.75%. Some pretty nice volume to the upside. I mean, look at that, trading at 563. We have UEC as well, trading up even higher, 12.48%. And I don't get that necessarily. I think Quad U is a way better company than UEC, but that's fine. Well, let's see the market cap. That's a good point. UEC's at 1.1 billion. Excuse me, UUU is 1.1 billion. UEC is 3.18. You know, UEC, this is all running on the back, essentially, of Constellation getting a massive deal to support basically nuclear reactors to give energy to the U.S. government. The government absolutely needs this. You know, we are in an arms race right now with AI, and so you have to dump money into these kind of things, and energy infrastructure is extraordinarily important when it comes to this. I think as well, you know, with some of these kind of more like novel, I say novel, but like new ways of approaching, like whether it's energy storage or energy creation, you know, I think namely with like lithium ion batteries or things like uranium, you know, I get nervous when the Biden administration was very good at pouring a lot of money into it. I think the reasoning they had with that is like, we need to get onto this kind of stuff far quicker, maybe not so much the EV batteries, but with things like renewable energy or things like uranium, which is not necessarily renewable energy, but you know, it's far more energy dense, right? So you had a lot of money flowing in because of that, and it seems like Trump might do the same thing as well, at least with uranium. He was speaking, I believe it was on Tucker Carlson, about his support for SMRs, small modular reactors, which is fantastic. And again, too, I mean, the way I think about it, like, yeah, we have a bunch of oil, it's very good, but we have a bunch of other stuff as well that can really situate America as, keep it up at the top for the century to come, right? I mean, that's tapping into our lithium reserves. That's tapping into our uranium reserves, and then making use of it in effective ways. And not everything is immediately profitable or immediately economically viable at the scale that it's currently at. But I don't know if that ever stopped us. I'm not sure it was economically viable to go to the moon, but we did. And it has this really positive effect on everything else down the chain, right? Because you find out other things in that pursuit that benefit us. And so, I would love to see a build out of our uranium and lithium infrastructure in America. It seems like Trump is not really necessarily opposed to that. It might just not be as vocal right now. So we're going to see how that administration deals with it. But as it stands, you get one final pump essentially with Constellation getting, I believe it was like $1 billion or something. Another thing with Cameco as well, and if you read the uranium write-up that I wrote in October, when we were looking at Cameco, one of their big risk exposures was going to be their mines in Kazakhstan. And it seems like that is going to probably become an issue for them. So they said today that output from its Inkai joint venture in Kazakhstan was unexpectedly halted due to a lapse in authorization from the government. This is an issue you run into. Additionally, Kazakhstan is engaging in this kind of weird thing where they're charging foreign entities a lot more money to basically, keep operations mobile. And that becomes kind of weird. And so one of the worst things that could happen for Cameco was realized today with the Inkai joint venture getting shut down. I think on top of the Constellation news, that's also probably what's saving Cameco here a little bit. But it's the compounding of this news from Cameco and Constellation is what's shooting up these smaller guys. I wonder what SMR is trading at. I'm not necessarily sure. It's off 1.9%. This is definitely going to be more of a uranium thing. One of the things that I said in the report for uranium was you got to sell on the news bumps and then buy when it kind of just traverses back down. And it does. And this will happen again with UEC, and it'll happen with Quad U again, and maybe Cameco, but definitely more of these kind of guys. And the reason for that is because these things are moving on the hype of obviously uranium being used, but that is still some way out, right? So you get this really exuberant front loading of this kind of, utilization that doesn't necessarily come to fruition. And it's not like the spot prices of the underlying asset are skyrocketing either, right? That would, kind of necessitate a movement in these kind of equities. So that's still the way that I approach it, at least in the near term. You sell on these kind of things, and then you accumulate when it dumps back. This isn't dump, but it just traverses back to the downside. And then you sell again on the news. You keep going, and it's a nice little strat. And of course, that changes at some point. Let's say you actually do start buying a ton of uranium and it's moving spot price, and obviously you're cutting a lot of output from Inkai. Inkai was producing 7.7 million pounds of uranium in 2024. That's a lot of uranium. So you get a cut on the global market in that capacity, but it doesn't necessarily move the spot price to the same magnitude that these equities are moving, if that kind of makes sense. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you spend any time online researching trading techniques on how to begin your trading journey, you've no doubt come across many folks who push Forex trading as a way to make big money quickly. Unfortunately, there are equally as many stories of these so-called Forex professionals just looking to make a quick buck off aspiring traders without actually teaching the ins and outs of the Forex market. This is what sets Teddy Keckstack's The Tiger Forex Report off the riffraff. Every Monday, former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member and author Teddy Keckstack releases his Tiger Forex Report newsletter, where he dives into the complex world of Forex and takes time to actually teach you his methods that have made him so successful in the fast-paced and rewarding world of Forex trading. Furthermore, all subscribers receive access to archived live streams of Teddy's, where he provides university-level education to help you in Forex trading. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Forex awaits. The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
Are you ready to take charge of your financial future? TFNN is your gateway to the world of trading and investing. Whether you're starting out or scaling up, TFNN empowers traders and investors of all skill levels with top-notch investing systems, strategies, and techniques. It's time to protect and grow your money with insight you can trust. Join us live Monday through Friday during market hours for exclusive content that moves with the markets. At TFNN, we bring the trading floor to you. Our seasoned hosts are here to answer your calls and questions live on the air. Check out the Tiger's Den for just $1 and follow us on YouTube and become part of our vibrant community. And remember, at TFNN, we're so confident in the value we provide that we offer a 30-day money-back guarantee on all new premium newsletter subscriptions and services. You have absolutely nothing to risk, so why wait? Tune in live to Tiger TV and transform your trading journey, because when you know better, you invest better. Join us and experience the difference today. TFNN, educating investors.
Welcome back, everyone. Sorry, it caught me mid-yawn. It's so cool outside. I mean, the temperature is beautiful. I had a little bit of glühwein last night. That's mulled wine with the windows open, and it's just relaxing. But then I get up this morning and I look at the market, and wow. I'm looking really more at my little stocks that have been taking some attention to, and the swings have been kind of nuts in a lot of these. I mean, let's take a look real quick at LAES. You're up 33.88% today. And it is following, almost the same pattern. Here, let's get out of this 3-day. Where you get these bumps up. Well, yeah, I mean, you just get these moves up and then consolidation at higher levels. It kind of gets close to testing the move up, and then it just keeps going again. You had some volume earlier in the day, a little bit of a cascade here. But, man, I mean, it looks like this thing still wants to rally, which is just crazy. Now, the only thing I would say is that it hasn't made a new high for the entire day after this point, which does deviate a little bit from its usual behavior. So that's something to keep in mind. You have a 12.55% short interest in it. They are still moving pretty heavily on the quantum info. WKey launches their satellite, I believe, the 12th, so 10 days from now. So that's some good potential for LAES and WiseKey to pump up. I don't even know what WiseKey is at. Up 12.98% today at 10.23, so that's moving as well. We take a look at Castellum, and that did come off a little bit, and that makes sense. I mean, there's like a digestion phase that is occurring at these levels. I mean, it is holding at the 170, and it has been doing very well at that. I think at this point now, we need to wait for more information, so maybe they do make a bid and they actually get the contract from that Oasis Plus program that they're able to bid in now. That would be another catalyst for that stock, no doubt. There is one, and I don't know if I'm going to talk about it right now. Maybe I should. It says SPCB. Now, this is a weird guy, okay? So you have basically cybersecurity, you have IoT, basically AIoT, right? So like, to go in this, I might talk about this like after the break so I can collect my whole thoughts on what I want to say. But this is kind of an interesting, very small market cap, right? Small float, this is where you can get these 63% moves to the upside. This was actually up 100% earlier today as well. This is another one I had been looking at and didn't do anything with, unfortunately. but there might still be room to run with it essentially. 16 million market cap compared with revenues and kind of their forward guidance seems a little bit undervalued. But we will take a look at that, I think, going forward. Let's take a look at Tesla. So you actually do come off today. I mean, this is off 379 now, right? Now we're really down quite a bit, off 6.06%. We'll take this. Well, we can't go to year to date. We'll take this to the year. I mean, you're trading at 488, and now we're really moving down. You had a low today of 373, and now you're back in the beginning of December at least. So nothing too insane on the macro for them, but definitely within the short term, pretty crazy. And they had their first drop in annual deliveries. Now, this is only 1.1%, but we'll take a look at it. So Tesla posted its fourth quarter vehicle production and delivery reports on Thursday. Key numbers are deliveries of 495,570, production of 459,445. You had annual deliveries of 1.79 million, which is pretty good, and then annual production of 1.77 million. So results for the quarter represented the first annual drop in delivery numbers for Tesla. It's reported 1.81 million deliveries in 2023, so deliveries just off slightly. Reported 484,507 deliveries in the fourth quarter, so that number is a little bit more stark. I mean, I don't think this is a death sentence for Tesla in any capacity. I think you can get fluctuations like that. It makes sense. NIO is the company that's really winning today. This Chinese company up 4.19%. As far as Tesla's concerned, again, I get nervous at the idea of shorting the thing. I think you get this dip, you can move sideways pretty heavily on it. He's still very connected with Trump. It looks like Tesla is going to be considered essentially in, I think it's like a tax credit or something like that, and one of the only EVs that's going to have that, right? So, I mean, he gets that preferential treatment. Yeah, let's see here. No, I'll have to get what it is, but they're going to be one of the only companies that has it. Yeah, so the Cybertruck, joins a short list of EVs eligible for a U.S. subsidy. Crazy to think about, but I mean, this is what happens when you get people who are that close to ruling politicians. So it qualifies up to a $7,500 tax credit for the first time this year. It's part of a reshuffling under tougher rules. The number of EVs and plug-in hybrids currently qualified for credit is 18 models. That's down for 22. Let's see here. It's not clear exactly what Trump, how many they'll have as well. I mean, you had Volkswagen lose a $7,500 tax credit. Rivian, I mean, that's horrible for them. Stellantis, Ford, Nissan. Man, I mean, what is Rivian doing with that? And this was the fear that I had with Rivian, and I'm glad I'm out of it. I mean, you're not off that much, off 0.08% at 1329. I think the future for this company is it's kind of unclear in a major way. They're putting charging outposts in Joshua Tree. Like, come on, man. Special locations for networks. I don't know. The more I read from these guys, they seem to not be as, I think, focused on making a car than they are within some sort of culture, which is a little bit unfortunate. But yeah, at least regarding Tesla today, I don't necessarily anticipate this going down much further at all. It could be an interesting opportunity, to get into a leveraged bull position if you get some kind of rebound for it. So that's kind of where I'm at with Tesla. But for these other companies, I mean, they're in a major problem. I guess Hyundai also has as well. The Ioniq 5 and Ioniq 9s are, they're beautiful looking. They really are. Not my style, but I appreciate them and I like them quite a bit. Let's see here. Let's talk a little bit, just going back to the uranium story, because I think this is important to talk about. And we're going to talk about another company, OPTX, probably in the next segment, but I'm looking into it, right? So we're talking about this whole idea of going away from training AI that'll still happen, but into inference to making the money, okay? You have two major issues facing you, which really is actually one major one, which is energy consumption, right? I think there's two different solutions for it. The first thing is going to be uranium, right? And I'm looking at uranium spot price. It's only up 2.31% today at $73. You know, a lot of these, like Quad U and UEC, aren't necessarily pumping a bunch of this through. I don't even think UEC mines yet. They bought a bunch of uranium at a massively discounted price, which is nice for them and can float them for some period until they get operational. But it's not clear when they will become operational. Quad U is far better in that realm where they actually are mining stuff out. But, you know, so you have the U.S. government wanting to gear up. They understand the magnitude of the situation that we're kind of in. And so you're dumping money into uranium. However, you know, I'm a fan of this optics play, which in some sense is a little bit competitive towards an idea of uranium build out because optical drivers don't use as much power. So we're going to talk about Constellation a little bit, then we'll talk about OPTX and tech optics when we get back from the break.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
Steve Rhodes started his trading career as a student almost 20 years ago, and the student has now become the master. Steve won the prestigious Timer of the Year award in 2018 and barely missed that mark again in 2019, finishing at number 2 for the year. An amazing accomplishment. Steve Rhodes is committed to sharing his techniques and knowledge with anyone who wants to learn, and he shares his vast amount of trading knowledge every day in his Mastering Probability newsletter. Steve's award-winning newsletter, Mastering Probability, is delivered every trading day with updates throughout the afternoon. Sign up for Steve's market newsletter, Mastering Probability, and you'll receive access to 7 of Steve's educational webinars absolutely free. At TFNN, all our newsletters come with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have absolutely nothing to worry about. Visit TFNN.com and try Mastering Probability 30 days risk-free today. TFNN, educating investors.
The consistency you're looking for is closer than you think. 1 or 2 adjustments are usually all you need to change your equity curve from red to green and keep it there. Come join Larry Pesavento live to learn what separates the winners from the losers. Join Larry Pesavento on the 2nd and 4th Friday of every month for 3 hours of live trading from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. Eastern Time, where Larry will show you the market setting up and, most important of all, the state of mind of a winning trader. By watching Larry trade, you'll learn the Fibonacci levels, you'll learn how to apply A to B to C to D trading patterns, you'll learn trade management, pattern recognition, and much more. Join Larry October 11th and 25th for more live trading action. Your purchase goes towards 2 sessions, so make sure to sign up now so you don't miss a chance to sit next to Larry as he trades the market live. For all information and reserve your spot today, go to the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
This portion of the Tom O'Brien Show is brought to you by Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the direction. Visit Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jacob Shoup. You're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. As I said at the beginning of the show, we are going to have Tim Ord on Tuesday to return. I'm sure he has a lot to talk about, especially with some of the movements that we've had both in the just general market and gold too. Talk a little bit about Constellation and uranium as a whole, just to give you kind of an update what's going on. They've been awarded a $1 billion contract to supply nuclear power to the U.S. government over the next decade. I wonder if we're going to build out like a state AI, you know, and remember us, we've been kind of talking about that a little bit going forward. Now, there's obviously other things they probably need energy for, but the way that I think about it is the country that wins is the one that has the best AI. You know, it's like you're a champion soldier if you're back in the Bronze Age or something like that, you know, and you've got to give it enough power, and this is the kind of stuff that really does push society forward in a major way. So let's look at this. So they're getting $1 billion over the next decade. It's the largest operator of nuclear power plants is Constellation. Deliver electricity to more than 13 federal agencies as part of the agreements with the U.S. General Services Administration. This is the biggest energy purchase in the history of the General Services Administration. Constructs and manages federal buildings, what GSA does. And is among the first major climate-focused energy agreement by the U.S. government to include electricity generated from existing nuclear reactors. The GSA estimated that the contracts set to begin on April 25th will comprise over 10 million megawatt hours over 10 years and provide electricity equivalent to powering more than 1 million homes annually. I mean, like, we should just be on nuclear. Now, the procurement delivery will deliver electricity to 80 federal facilities located through the PJM interconnection. The U.S. Department of Transportation, Federal Reserve Board of Governors, and the Army Corps of Engineers, some of the facilities that will receive the power. The nuclear power industry, which saw several decades of contraction, has attracted renewed interest from big tech. Let me see here. Yeah, Okay, so the deal includes $840 million for power supplied by Constellation and $172 million for the company to complete energy efficiency work, including weatherizing federal buildings and expanding the use of LED lighting. Great. It's not good for you. But regardless, I mean, this is a paradigm shift, you know, and, you know, maybe 2-3 years from now, you start seeing like a real increase in demand for uranium, and you can actually get some meaningful movements that stick in things like UEC, Quad U, uranium ETFs. I forget what the big uranium ETF is, and then things like Kamiko as well, if they can resolve that Inkai mine issue. So, you know, besides for the climate kind of argument, we just need more power, and we're going to just need more of it, and natural gas, fossil fuels can't necessarily keep up with that. When it comes to the realm of things, you know, like artificial intelligence, data centers, and stuff like that, you've heard me talk a lot about basically switching over to photonics. One of the issues you're having with GPUs is they overheat. It's inefficient to send electrons on and off the boards, and it becomes a massive issue. They are massive, massive drags on the energy infrastructure, and so I'm big in photonics. You know, we're talking a little bit about Avar Labs, which is a private company. They had a big investment from Intel and NVIDIA as well. Of course, we've spoken about Poet. I believe, let's see what Poet's up today. Yeah, you're 4.03% in Poet. I still get nervous just with their structure, so I'm kind of trying to look for American equivalents. AR, unfortunately, is just not public, so Syntec Optics seems to be the one that I've been looking at. It's like, okay, you know, these guys have been optics players for a very long time. They are adjusting into low Earth orbit satellites. That's very good. They've been doing that for a little bit now, primed to kind of capitalize on that. And then additionally, they have acknowledged the future demand for photonics in data centers and AI. So they've been hiring new personnel in order to best capitalize on that, which I think is a great positioning. You know, their financials are a little bit freaky right now. Nothing insane. You know, you have $461,000 in debt obligations. You have about $476 in cash. Net sales kind of unchanged over the 9 months when you consider September 30th. Cost of goods sold a little bit higher than it was in the year prior. So, you have some issues with that. But I mean, if they're dumping enough money in to try to pivot, and looking at their investor toolkit is kind of interesting. They speak about that a lot, which I think is nice. I think if you start getting analyst analysis on this equity, and they do start making meaningful movements into the realm of, photonics for AI and data centers, that this could be a really attractive opportunity. I did email them earlier today and ask for a little bit of clarity of what, their position is on things like using photonics for AI and data centers. And again, it never hurts to email these companies. Sometimes you get a response, and it can be quite enlightening. It's always worth a try. But I just wanted to throw that out there because I know we were speaking about that a little bit. And I had some people email me, which I really appreciate those emails, talking about the same kind of concept, which I think is great. Let's move on a little bit to Resolve. And I want to say I don't have any position in optics right now. I might get into one, but I kind of just want to see more from them before I do it. Now, that might be incorrect of me, right? I mean, maybe people get a whiff of it. I mean, today, you moved, you're up 4%. They were up a lot higher earlier. And of course, you have a bunch of bag holders probably around these levels here that just want to take profit wherever they may be at. I mean, you might be at any spot in here. People are like, you know what? I'm out of this thing. It's not getting enough attention. It's not making waves, which matters, especially with people who are investing in, I say investing, but buying these really small market cap companies. They don't want to be stuck in them forever. You're looking for a major pump, which is one way to approach it. But I think that there's a potential for this stock to capitalize quite a bit on this transition that I do believe is probably going to take place sometime in the middle or later this year. You're at least going to start hearing a lot of news about it. So that is optics. Let's talk a little bit about this before we move on, because I want to talk a little bit about Reddit and Broadcom. I think both are good equities going into this year. And we'll talk a little bit about Resolve and that company SPCB as well. But taking a look at Carvana, you're off 2.93%. You have a high of 268.34 of last year. You moved down quite a bit. Let's look in the past few days. The reason why I'm bringing this up, okay, so you get this move and a sell down. So the news actually didn't hit it that hard, but Hindenburg, famous Hindenburg, released a report on Carvana, shorting it, calling it a grift for the ages. Now keep in mind the insane move that Carvana has had. I mean, if we go back, let me just take it back to the years. I mean, this thing was at 355 at the beginning of 2023. And just had this massive move up. There was just this renewed interest in it. Proving financials, I guess. Folks, stay right there. We'll be right back.
If you're looking for potential trading setups in the stock market, then Rocket Equities and Options Report is a newsletter you should try. Tommy O'Brien delivers options and equity trades when the markets present them, using a combination of fundamentals and technicals. Sign up for Rocket Equities and Options Report today with a 30-day money-back guarantee, so you have nothing to risk. For all the details and to start your subscription today, visit the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors. For traders who crave risk, Direxion's daily leveraged and inverse ETFs provide opportunities to magnify short-term perspectives with up to 3 times a daily leverage, utilize bull and bear funds from both sides of the trade, and trade through rapidly changing markets. These are highly leveraged ETFs with daily resetting designed for short-term trading, not long-term investing. Whether you're a bull or a bear, you choose the Direxion. For up-to-date pricing and performance, go to Direxion.com. Investing in the funds involves significant risk and should only be utilized by investors who understand the impact of leverage and actively monitor their portfolio. They are not designed to track the underlying index or security for more than a day. Before investing, carefully consider a fund's investment objective, risk, charges, and expenses contained in the prospectus available at Direxion.com. Read carefully. Distributor Foresight Fund Services, LLC.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter, a must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the Newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN, educating investors.
TFNN has launched the Tiger's Den, hosted at Discord. TFNN has been educating traders for more than 20 years with live programming hosted by a variety of professional traders during market hours. The Tiger's Den, available to all tigers and tigresses for just $1 for the year. There's no catch or added costs when you join our community of traders. Sign up today and become a part of this educational community of traders. Just visit the front page of TFNN.com.
This program is brought to you by Vista Gold, traded on the NYSE American and TSX under the symbol VGZ.
Tom O'Brien.
Welcome back, everyone. Jacob Shoup, you're watching the Tom O'Brien Show. Taking a look at the E-mini, you're off about 0.39% at 5,912. The composite off about 0.34% at 19,245. The Dow Jones Industrial off about 0.32% at 42,409. And that dollar pretty strong at 109.28. Take a look at Carvana right now. Boy, so off 2.72%. Did not work for Hindenburg, I think, the way it wanted to. But they're accused of impropriety in a report alleging that the auto retailer's subprime loan portfolio carries substantial risk and its growth is unsustainable. Let's take a look at this report, because Hindenburg's kind of funny with how they say things. They're very hyperbolic, guys. So this is entitled Carvana, a father-son accounting grift for the ages. So it's a $44 billion online dealer. Here, I'll just pull this over so we can take a look at it. In 2012, main business is an online platform that allows retail customers to buy and sell used cars. Despite facing bankruptcy risks in 22 and 23, spiked 284% in 24, with investors believing the company's worst days are behind it. However, their research included extensive document review and 49 interviews with industry experts, former Carvana employees and competitors, and related parties of the company, undertaken over the course of 4 months, shows Carvana's turnaround is a mirage. They are claiming that their research uncovered $800 million in loan sales to a suspected undisclosed related party. Along with details on how accounting manipulation and lax underwriting have fueled temporary reported income growth, all while insiders cash out billions in stocks. That's interesting. Let's see. We're going to look at the Form 4s just real quick. Okay, you got some sales. You got a bunch of sales. Oh, yeah, you got some insider selling here. This is just from the 12th, 13th. Yeah. And the only acquisitions are like at $0, so I wonder if that's just them being compensated with that. Oh, interesting. What does this say? 8 and 9. Exchange agreement permits Class B units to exchange their Class B units for a number of issues Class A shares. So those are the only acquisitions going on, is some kind of technicals like that. And then trust, receiving some from a trust. Interesting. You know, and what you can do, you can always go to Edgar, just type in SEC Edgar on Google, type in the ticker name, and then you're going to go down to ownership disclosures, and you can see all of that kind of stuff. So very interesting. This is another thing, too, that I've been sticking on, is kind of these bad loans and bad leveraging that's occurring. But Carvana's business already faces major headwinds. Used vehicle prices have declined 20.3% the past 3 years. Subprime auto loan delinquencies are now higher than the global financial crisis per Fitch. The CEO's father sold $3.6 billion in stock between August 2020 and August 2021, and the year after he stopped selling. Carvana's stock plunged 99% and faced bankruptcy concerns. Dang. So yeah, I would recommend reading this, just if anything, just it's kind of interesting. And always do your own due diligence on these kind of things, mainly because they have a bias, right? They're short these companies. I mean, it's the same thing with Iceberg, you know? They release things because they have a monetary interest in getting their portion out. So that's Carvana right now. Let's take a little look at, I think I want to talk about Resolve right now. And this is interesting to me. I mean, money-wise, they're trying to get situated. I mean, they're at a very large market cap, $858 million. We're not going to look at this on the 5-year. But, okay, you're trading up 5.89% at 404. This is a really interesting company to me, right? So, as I said the other day, they are doing basically e-commerce LLM. So if you have some website that you're selling things on, you can employ Resolve and it'll do basically your customer service, which is insane. They're really focusing quite heavily on their deals with Microsoft and Google, which I think is interesting, but we know from One Meta AI that's not, an immediate kind of win. One Meta is linked with these guys as well. They're up 7.5% today, but kind of a freaky company, and they don't have investor relations on their website at all. So something to keep in mind. But Resolve seems kind of interesting to me, and I think maybe at these levels, again, it's hard to say at 860 million market cap, but when you think about the entire size of e-commerce and how, easy it would be to add an LLM onto it, you're like, hey, whatever, like I'll totally do that, right? You don't have to deal with customers, you just have this thing, do it yourself, and you pay them a little bit of money. So it seems like an interesting proposition, and their deals with Google and Microsoft are not bad in any capacity, and if they, prove to be effective, they will get larger exposure to that kind of stuff. I mean, I think about things like, you talk to Shopify and get integrations with them or whatever it may be. So this one's kind of interesting to me going forward. And I want to really talk about AVGO and Reddit before the show ends here. AVGO, I think this switch over to ASICs, application-specific integrated chips, is massive. You're getting a switch now where I think where ASICs are like 40% of sales in chip sectors, and they're going to be 50% projected by this year and then into the beginning of 26. And it just makes sense. I think as NVIDIA kind of slows down, which I do think they will, I have a feeling Blackwell is not going to do as well due to some structural integrities in the chips, or issues with structural integrity in the chips, mainly with them overheating and that kind of affecting it. And then really just GPUs aren't necessarily designed to do what they're doing today, right? It just worked out. You go into Broadcom, they can develop ASICs for AI. They can develop ASICs for whatever it is, IoT, anything, And with them positioning themselves as like the ASIC makers, I mean, at something like 1 trillion, I mean, even their forward guidance puts them way above this current market cap, right? I mean, way above NVIDIA's market cap as well. And I think it's just a matter of time before people say, okay, dang, let's get into this thing and see what happens. I mean, NVIDIA went up an immense amount, right, before they did their split. And you could see something like that happen with Broadcom as well. I think they're positioned super well, and I'm going to be following them throughout this year for sure. And then Reddit too. I think Reddit has the potential to move up significantly. I mean, you're just at 20 billion valuation right now, 167.27, trading up 2.4%. But I mean, and this is again beyond just the idea of people being on Reddit and looking at advertisements. I mean, that's what like this valuation is, right? But when you start talking about like data harvesting people's behaviors and then selling that to guys in the AI space, that's a different discussion entirely. So those are the two ones I kind of want to start like doing some more research on and developing something on it, which is Broadcom and Reddit. I think for this year they have the potential to really to move up, right? And I'm kind of looking forward to that. If we take a look at SPCB, this is Supercom Limited. I'm going to pull these guys up on Edgar real quick because it seems like they might be a little undervalued at 15 million. Give me a second. We're going to do that. I know it's a short segment. when we come back. But I'll pull something up and we'll talk about Supercom just a little bit.
Many trading newsletters attempt to focus on a narrow set of equities or commodities. While this works for some, it oftentimes misses many opportunities that possess huge gain potential. But how is an independent trader supposed to scan the entire market looking for these hidden opportunities? One simple answer: the opening call newsletter. Basil Chapman, developer of the Chapman Wave trading methodology, has been trading the markets for longer than most trading influencers have been alive. And over that time, he has honed his methodology in order to accurately call movements in a wide range of equities, from semiconductors to uranium to key indices and so much more. Basil is old school, taking the time to educate the trader while also giving his insights into key indices, selective stocks, and more. Opening call subscribers also receive access to dozens of educational live streams that can be accessed at any time for your edification. All first-time subscribers receive a 30-day money-back guarantee. So ignore the pop trading influencers and start learning time-tested technical analysis.
In the world of trading, only a few names stand out like Larry Pesavento, a pro's pro with over 50 years of experience. Larry has seen it all. A former Chicago Mercantile Exchange member, Larry has authored 10 books and trained over 1,000 traders with his unmatched expertise. Introducing Fibonacci 24/7, Larry Pesavento's daily trading service that turns the complexity of markets into opportunities. Published every Sunday, receive a comprehensive report packed with detailed commentary, charts, and videos that illuminate the patterns shaping the markets, with updates throughout the week exclusively for subscribers. Whether through charts or videos, Larry's analysis is your roadmap to navigating the markets. You can sign up now at TFNN.com for just $97. And with all TFNN newsletters backed by a 30-day money-back guarantee, you have nothing to risk. For all the details, visit TFNN.com. You'll find Fibonacci 24/7 right under the newsletters tab.
The reality is that navigating financial markets can be risky. Markets can be chaotic and difficult to understand. Having the latest market advice can help you turn this chaos into a key for creating winning trades. At TFNN, we understand that it can be hard to find reliable market news. That's why each of our market experts offers their very own market newsletter. A must-have tool for every trader out there striving to find an edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets so you can analyze the market before you trade. Try any of our great newsletters risk-free with our 30-day money-back guarantee. Just visit the newsletters tab on the front page of TFNN.com. TFNN. Educating investors.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV.
Welcome back, everyone. This is Jacob Shoup, watching the Tom O'Brien Show. We got a short segment here looking at Supercom, SPCB. They basically do artificial intelligence on IoT, predictive analytics. They have some really interesting suites. One, you think you look, you know, maybe about security cameras. This analyzes everything the security camera is seeing and makes a guess if there's something kind of suspicious going on, so it can detect people with firearms or violence. They're doing ones where you can put in your home. Let's say you have like an elderly parent. They fall down. This can kind of detect that and alert you. Very interesting stuff. Cybersecurity, eGov. They have a base on blockchain, ID, and secure payment solutions. It's kind of interesting to look at. They have a market cap of 15 million, trading at 764 on the equity. So there's probably going to be some dilution here at some point. They're up 58.71% today, traded all the way up to 1080. Taking a look at their financials, revenue for at least June, which is when they last reported, was 7.54 million. That was off about 2.62% year over year. Net income was $2.19 million, which is a 307% increase. Let's see here. Profit margin of about 30%. Operating income up 158.36%. I mean, they're not doing poorly, as far as those numbers are concerned. Obviously, getting more contracts would be huge. I think they just signed a contract, with agencies in Kentucky. I think this is an Israeli company, but they're setting up in that area. Now, one of the things it's always important to keep in mind with smaller stocks that say, hey, we just have these 2 contracts, you need to know what the contract sizes are, right? I mean, this was the issue with Big Bear AI, right? Where they're like, we get the NASA contract or something. And it's like they didn't even actually have the NASA contract. Another company did. They were subcontracted through them. It was only like, what was it, like $1.2 million or something like that? So that's something to keep in mind. They deals with the Israeli prison service. Anyways, it's kind of an interesting stock. I'm going to be looking into it. Folks, thank you so much for joining me today. We'll be back on tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with Tommy O'Brien. Take care.